Kansas. Hello and welcome to our Fierce Friday Million Mom Movement Zoom today. It's September 9th. My name is Carmela Velarde. I'm a Blue Diamond with a company with Purium, and I'm really excited to be a part of this movement, this mission that has driven this family of mine here for the past 8 years. So I'm really committed to helping others to learn more about what we do here. And I've been on this council for the Million Mom Movement for a little over than two years now. So I get really excited to share this time with our community that's growing. We have our YouTube channel that we always have the replays on. And I have my two council members, Taz Ferreira and Naiva Flora, here together with me. And I see all these different states and cities that are coming through in this chat. We have people from around the world in this movement, and we would love for it to grow. So it had started really with the old chair, Stephanie Dawn, and really her seeing the need for us to educate in the mama community about the known carcinogen called glyphosate, the active ingredient in Roundup. And we take a stand with our pledge. So I feel really called to action whenever we read it, because I say, you know, we're here because we all take this intention and we apply it to our daily lives. We show you how to, in the Million Mom Movement, do many things. And today we're talking on the topic of wealth, health, wealth specifically, but as it always pertains to our families. So I'd love to pass it over to Taz Ferreira oh my gosh, I always say Montreal, but in Miami.
But see, I love that because I always say from Montreal to Miami. And it's because of this business, it's because of this opportunity paired with these superfoods that brought me here, that allowed me to be here with my family, building the business online. I just opened up my computer and that's it. So I get asked this question all the time. Taz, how do I share this movement? How do I share it forward? What do I do? What do I do? You know, so it's so simple. Join us on these calls. Okay, first of all, that's essential. Come to this calls, invite a couple girlfriends, invite a couple people, listen to what we have to say. Listen to us and see if this feels like you. Here is another way that you can share it. So this is one of my favorite ways. Okay, I have to share. Share screen, okay. Here we go. Okay, so this is a great way to share our movement. So have you guys visited our website? So if you haven't visited yet, please go log on to millionmommovement.info. And once you're there, go to movement and go to join. And when you go join, so here you can fill out your name and your last name and your email and everything. And this goes to us, okay? And we will be sending you emails. So back to the pledge. So you scroll down. So we have this pledge, and this is basically the Million Mom Movement national anthem. Okay, that's how I view it. And this is something that I share with my family, my friends, my kids, teachers, every single person that I meet, even at the grocery store. You know, if someone's buying type of food that I'm eating, you know what? Maybe they will relate to the pledge. So let's read the pledge together. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic food that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement. So this movement is not only for moms, it's for daddies, it's for caregivers, aunties and uncles, every single person that you meet, that you know they have an activism personality, that they're not going to be silenced and just go to the grocery store and pick up anything. So we do this for our families. We do this for our kids to empower them, to educate them on what it means to read labels, what it means, right? And if we can impact one family, as women, as mothers, we are the heads of the household. So if we can change one family and then that family can pass that message on to change another family, now we've created a huge movement, and we can only do it with your help. So please pass this on, print it, share it with every single person. You can go into our boards app, you can share it there. You can go in our Purium app. We have a Million Mom Movement section. You can share it there. We have many ways to share it. Okay, back to you, Carm.
Thanks so much, Taz. And with this pledge, we ground our energy here, what we're doing together, which is to educate the families about how to really defend the health of ourselves first. So it's always us first. And we're going to bring to you in the news segment, which is our, let's see, are you able to get off screen share, Taz? Yeah, we're still in screen share. We're going to bring this new segment to you, which is called In the News, and Ava Flory is going to share with us a little bit about what supports the topic, which we are going into today, about how we balance school as parents, how we balance after school and work. And so we always think of a topic in the news that would support what are we going through as families in the society. I pass it over to you, Ava.
Hey, thank you so much, Carmela. So today we have a special in the news piece. So right now, a huge crisis is the expenses of food, right? Food is just skyrocketing. We've watched the prices go up and up and up over the last year. And so popular grocery staples are getting more and more expensive as the plague continues to hit shoppers. And so what does this mean? This means that people are buying cheaper food because they can't afford the more expensive organic versions. They're opting, they're having to choose based on the amount of money that things cost. And that's not where we want to come from. So we want to empower more people to have access to what we have, organic nutrition, and a way to create additional abundance so that we can afford the foods that we really want to be feeding our family. So wheeling the cart down the grocery aisle can feel increasingly daunting these days. Shoppers are finding themselves doing quite a bit of mental math as the price skyrockets for items they used to regularly toss into their carts without a second thought at the cost. How much have staples like potato chips and peanut butter really gone up? In many cases, way too much. Annual inflation rate hit 9.1% last month, you guys, but that doesn't mean that Americans are seeing their bills or their grocery store receipts go up by 9% across the board. In most cases, the rise in prices have been far greater. So I actually don't have access to the subscribed rest of the material, but you get the point. Prices are going up in food. These are conventional foods. These are not necessarily organic foods. This is just food across the boards that are in grocery stores. And so educating our friends, letting them know like we have a solution that is not expensive. It's super affordable. It's super healthy. It's full of nutrition. And we want to empower you also with the business opportunity. So we're so excited to just empower more families with what we have access to here. And I'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Carmela.
Isn't that the truth? We all are facing this awareness around the hikes, and we have exactly what they need. They just don't know it yet. So we have a job to do. We have our work to really understand how to work and navigate price differentials and what they're going through. We as families budget. Absolutely. If we don't, we should. And so if we also know families who don't, we can support them in budgeting. And that's also where maybe people don't realize how much they're spending monthly. So thank you for that relevant piece. And please put it into the chat if you haven't already. Yes, so we get to go on to our topic, which, when we're talking about food prices, we're talking about just generally, how are we bringing that in our home? Well, we're talking about how our family navigates this stressful time. It could be when kids go back to school and we want to balance everything, including our budgets, right? We balance how we work with all the things while we now have, again, a new shift in our schedules, which maybe over the summer we had a very different schedule, maybe we didn't. Some people have a very regimented time blocking schedule, even with their families, with sleep time and wake time, even over the summer. Mine, not so much. So I'm happy to talk about this topic with our council. And let's start just in general with the topic, right? So as families, we are entrepreneurial mamas and dads and caregivers in this community. And what do we have up against this, right? We have a lot of things, but just remember, everyone has the same amount of all the things. So it's really up to us how we manage it. How do we balance it? And we always say, we always have the 24 hours a day. Now, how do we optimize it? So we're going to talk first about time blocking. And as families, what I've always told people who are scheduling with me, maybe if you don't have a calendar, you should definitely keep one. Google calendars are absolutely gold because they have color coding. They have abilities where you can share your calendar with your partner so that they're aware of your work activities. And I also have to share it to my husband so that he blocks off what he needs to do and what I need to do with our children. So Google Calendar is just superb, but then there's things like Calendly, and there's also a hard copy book. Of course, this is old school, and I think a lot of people definitely still do that. I love doing both because I love writing things, but if we don't time block, think about what gets away from you, such as scrolling, right? Let's just talk about oh my goodness, how many hours we can get into or shopping online, or, being with our kids without having any clear boundaries. Well, this is why we're talking about this as a family, because we are entrepreneurs. We like to say mamapreneurs, because when we really talk about time blocking, it's essential to put into practice, if you've not already, this with yourself, and then implement it with your team and ask them, how are you spending your time? So with our action plans monthly, we can ask our teams, how much time are you allotting to your business weekly? And then we reverse engineer that amount of time with all the things that they can participate in. If, in fact, the times don't work for the corporate calls, then they have to time block actually replaying the videos, because it's so important to know what's going on and really what's in the climate of our culture. Incentives, promotions, people who are coming in and out of the company who are important to us as corporate. What's available to us, like the money map, is so important for us to tap into. There's about 20 to 30 minutes of Q&A that is available to all of us for our businesses. If you didn't know that that's there, time block that, because I get a lot of questions as an upline, but I say, why don't you just attend this weekly Zoom where you can go direct to corporate? And that saves me time, because now you know, and now you can pass that duplication of understanding on. So once we really are clear of what aspects of our business, of our team do we need to know, it's how much time do we dedicate weekly to our businesses. We have to be clear. We share that with our upline too. And then we ask our downline. Once we are clear about that, then we know that some families, have a lot of kids, multiple kids. But what's really key, I think, is that you have to even time block play, time block time for them. And each of the council will be talking about how they do it within their family. So I'll just share mine. So I was telling Naiva and Taz that when I'm very clear about certain things as soon as they get home, from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m., I know my kids are away. They're away and they're at school. You might be homeschooling, very different situation. I think Taz is going to share a little bit about how homeschooling works for her for a few years there. But for me, as soon as they get home, there's a window of time that's crucial for us to connect. And if you don't, you're missing a great opportunity for communication. So actually time block that out too. Don't just have it an empty block where maybe you might schedule an appointment. I've done that before, doesn't work. And then I realize what suffers is my relationship with my family. So time block, even as soon as the children get home, time to sit down with them, ask them questions, feed them a snack, like connect as a family. And then you have meal time. So again, there might be a time in between that they can go out and chill, do some homework or sports, things that they might want to do outside, but then always come back to mealtime. So I find that if you do not time block even mealtime, they need to expect when, because their cycles. So I'm a holistic practitioner for a long time, and I always feel like you should eat before the sun comes down. So I always say before 6. I know a lot of people eat late and they say, oh, I know I eat late. Well, you can correct that if you time blocked. So I'm just putting it out there that yes, the body needs time to digest and rest. And if you're not teaching that right out of the gates with your children, that, there's a specific time we eat. There's a specific time that they eat in school. So, and there are times, my son actually eats at 10:30 in the morning at his lunch hour, which is far too early in my opinion. But that's why he takes the aminos and chlorella in the morning. And then he brings his food, of course, because I know that it's not natural to eat so early a lunch. So knowing that, we adjust. And as soon as he gets home, he's ravenous, of course. So I have to be prepared for that, knowing his schedule. And then instead of waiting for homework or downtime, like we kind of eat early. We eat about 5. So we as parents really have to understand time blocking for food, and then and downtime and winding down with the children. All of this is energy. We just are all feeding into their energy. And many kids have high anxiety these days from all the expectations and social media and the different technology. So let's just help them naturally in the family go into flow. And the one other thing that I wanted to share with my time blocking was food and meal prep. When you shop for the food together, that's time blocked in the week. Once a week, just go out, buy the snacks that they love. They know they'll get to choose what they want. And then clearly they're a part of it. So time blocking that with them, saying, okay, put this in your calendar. And this is what's going to go on Wednesday. We have time for that together, so that when you're feeding them, it's not like, surprise, this is what I chose from you. Kids need to be involved. This is part of blocking, because otherwise, if you don't include them, it's So I pass the mic on to one of my sisters here, because I'd love to hear their tips about time blocking.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carmela. That was great. Those were amazing tips. So I'm going to start. So you guys know that I've been homeschooling my kids for so my son, 3 years, and my daughter, 2 years, it seems, right? So this year, they're going back to school, physical school. So I can draw the comparison of the homeschooling versus going to physical school. And they're completely different. But before we start, I want to ask you a question. What keeps you busy, right? Because I hear this question all the time from so many mamas. They're like, yeah, but I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Guys, I'm so busy. This is the beauty of this business. We love busy people, but what are you busy doing? So I would love for you guys to drop in the chat, what are you busy doing? Like, jot down 5 things that keeps you busy, okay? So this is the number one things I hear, okay? Laundry. If you're homeschooling, well, I have to do laundry. I have to cook. The kids are eating all the time. It seems like they're eating 12 times a day. I know, I relate. I got you. Cleaning. Okay, I have to clean. I'm always cleaning. I have to go take care of the kids, right? Exactly, Allison, cooking, cleaning. We hear this all the time. Cat videos, right? So these cat videos, you know what you need to do? You need to unfollow. You need to mute and unfollow on Instagram. The muting settings is huge. I've been muting left and right? Don't get distracted on Instagram. Look at Instagram as being your business. Don't get distracted by TikTok. Go in for your purpose and get out, okay? So back to what keeps you busy, okay? Laundry, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. As soon as the kids come home, that's a whole nother level of busy, right? Okay, and then there's sports. There's so many things we're going to get into. So when I was homeschooling my kids, I had no idea what I was into. I've never done this before. I've never seen anyone do it. I didn't know what I'm doing. How am I going to manage? So if you guys don't know, I run a huge Purium business. And I'm a functional medicine doctor. I run that business as well. and we're part of council, and we're always trying to create content and, build our business. And with the kids and cooking and cleaning and everything, how am I going to do it? Where am I going to find the time? But you know what? We all have time. It's where you're putting the time in your day. I hear this all the time from my brand partners. I have to go make lunch for the kids. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Go whip out your phone, take out your phone, put it on, show everyone how you're doing this, right? It's not you separate the business and your superfoods and your foods, right? We are bringing this together. This becomes part of your lifestyle, the opportunity, the business, everything. This is for ourselves and our family. Just like how I was sharing the pledge, this is for them. So we show them how we can incorporate this business in our life. So let's start with breakfast, okay? So in the morning, if you're homeschooling your kids probably don't wake up early, okay? Let me tell you, facts is facts. My kids are not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning when they're homeschooling. They're sleeping in. They're probably getting up later, okay? Now that they're going off to school, they're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's amazing. I love it. It gets me energized. It gets me handling my day earlier than ever. So we wake up, we have breakfast, right? And because our superfoods are so amazing and they allocate this time freedom, we can make them the most delicious breakfast fast, easy. In the morning, okay, my daughter gets her power shake, her MVP, she makes it for herself, by herself, she shakes, she has it prepared. My son does the same, they have their food, and this is what I'm showing. I show in the morning how we start our day. We always start our day on the right foot, right? And this is part of our social media. You need to submit widen your reach? Well, there you go. That's one video. That's done. That's taken care of. The kids are off to school, okay? So for myself, I love maximizing when my kids are at school. When they're at school, that is what I need to be productive. And what Carmela was talking about, time blocking, that is essential, not just to your business, but to your life, okay? We need to all time block. And if you're like me, you like making charts and you like checking them off. So I love doing that. So I make a chart. So Google Calendar is my best friend, okay? I put everything on Google Calendar. Whenever there's something that comes up, I write it down because I'm gonna forget. It's absolutely sure I'm gonna forget. So I write it down so I don't forget. Okay, we have so many calls. If I can't make it to a call, that's okay. They're recorded. I can listen to it while I'm working out, while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm doing something productive, right? You know, the return on investment, productivity. What are you doing? Is it productive? Are you cleaning? Are you listening to something? Are you watching TV? How many Netflix series have you been watching? Come on, let me ask yourself. Ask yourself seriously, how much Netflix you've been watching? 1, 2, that's far too many, right? If you're binge watching any of these shows and you're telling me, well, I can't plug into my Zoom calls, priorities are not in line. We need to prioritize our mission, impact, and the business opportunity, because the only way we can help others is by plugging in. There's a whole language to learn. There's a whole business to learn. There's so much to learn. And you know what? With all my degrees in education, we're not taught about any of this in school. It's learning everything from scratch. And I love that. I love it. So I maximize my time. When the kids are at school, I get all of my work done. I have all of my meetings. I have all of my checklists. I have everything that I was catching up on. All of the Zoom calls, anything I need to do, I maximize. So from 8 a.m. to 3, that's getting done. If I need to do reels, I get those done. But I'm sure Naiva is going to share all about that later. I get everything done during that time, okay? And for me, at 3, once the kids come home, I don't do any more work. This is my time with my family. I need to connect with them. I need to chat with them. We need to be bonding, right? So because this business allocates time freedom, after a certain amount of time, that's my freedom. this is the whole point of this business. I don't want to be on the calls all the time. I'm like, okay, then tomorrow I'm going to prioritize what I need to look at, what I need to listen to. But when my kids come home at 3, now my life gets even more busy. Now it's busy. This is what I call, now it's the real work, right? Before, this is fun. This was like my time, my work, impact. I'm helping the family. But once everyone comes in, now it's like the hustle and bustle. Okay, who has what sport to go to? I need to get ready. Got to get snacks. Throw in Purium, right? It's so easy. We've made it can't beat this for the kids. My kids are in so many after school sports. Okay. When it comes to tennis and golf and volleyball and basketball, right? I don't have time, but I make time. Whenever I meet someone, I go out and I meet a mama. So, how are you feeling? My kids are exhausted after school. Well, I've got something for that, right? You mix the opportunity with whatever you're doing. You're making supper. This is the same thing. This is the opportunity. Mix it together. Go on live, go on social media, show people how you can do this lifestyle as a busy mom, right? If you're doing laundry, what are you listening to? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you listening to Eric Worre? I always encourage people to plug into something that actually enrich their life, whatever you're doing, right? So before I go on and on about so many things, I'm going to pass it to Naeva to hear what you have to share about time blocking.
Oh my gosh, so incredible, Taz and Carmela. I love everything that you shared. And yes, time blocking is essential, because if we're not time blocking, then we're not optimizing the time that we have in a day. So I love the question that you asked earlier, like, what do you do with your time? What keeps you busy? Because I hear that all the time as well. Like, I'm so busy, I have so much going on. The thing with moms is that often we multitask. Like Taz said, if you're washing the dishes, you can be listening to a recording, a replay of some sort. There's so many ways that you can multitask and incorporate this into your life. And for me, it definitely starts after the kids go to school in the morning and until they get back. So I love that you mentioned that too, Taz, because from 8 to 2:30 is my time block where I'm really plugging into my business. I'm reaching out to my team members. I'm reaching out to my customers. I'm following up with people that I need to follow up. And when you have a strategy and you have a way that you work throughout the month, then it really does help. So if you need to set certain days for certain activities, right? Maybe Mondays is your reach out day. Maybe Tuesdays is your follow-up day. Things like that can really help you to just know and focus on what it is that you need to focus on. And it also really helps if you know what it is that you're working on in your business. Like if you just sit down at your computer and you're like, okay, I'm going to log into my back office and I don't know what I'm doing today, then you're not going to get as much done. But if you log into your back office the night before and you take some notes of the team members that are getting close to goals or team members or customers that you need to reach out to, then you actually know exactly what you need to do when you sit down at your desk. So taking notes the night before is a tip that I took from a leader years and years ago, which has really helped me to implement the next day, because I have all these ideas at the end of the day. I've just done all this work. I followed up with some people. I know who the next people are that I've set up some connect calls with. And if I don't write it down and put it in my calendar, then honestly, as a busy mom, brain fog sets in. And the next day I'm like, who was I going to call? What was I going to do? And so that's why it's so important to write it down. And I don't only write it down, I also put it in my Google Calendar with a reminder. I set everything with reminders because I can't tell you how many times I've dropped the ball by not doing this in the past, where I was like, oh yeah, I'll remember I have that call at 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. rolls around and I'm doing whatever I'm doing and working, making other phone calls. And I forget that I actually had something scheduled at that time. So by writing it down as soon as you make the appointment, have a notebook or your calendar that you write things down on, or a planner. And then I transfer it into my phone at my first available, when I can get it into my phone. Otherwise, in the evening before I go to bed, like at the end of my workday, or sometimes before I pick up the kids from school, I'll do this. If I have a little 5 to 10 minutes, I'll just go into my calendar and put everything into my calendar that I've written down in my notebook for the day. So that way I can make sure that I'm not dropping any balls along the way, that I'm making sure everybody stays afloat, and I'm just, keeping everything moving forward. So I love this topic of, really knowing what you're going to do in the time block that you have, because we all have the same amount of time in a day. We all have 24 hours. We all have the same, lots of chores, lots of things that we need to be doing, but we also have the same ability to rock this business in the time that we have. And so, really knowing what you're going to do the next day, I think, is a key piece to time blocking, writing down your list of things to do and then knowing who you're reaching out to. And we're going to move into some strategy as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you, Carmela.
Thanks so much, Naiva and Taz. I love hearing what they do in their homes, because you guys are impeccable entrepreneurs and you're definitely having success in your businesses. So I always would say, take it from the people who are doing well as your advisors. And so yes, as far as strategy goes, it's strongly linked to performance and success. And so are you confident with the three aspects I always ask about when a new brand partner comes to my team? I say, are you confident about the company? You want to partner with us? Are you aware of its mission? Are you clear about it? Second is, are you confident about the network marketing model? And the third thing is, are you confident with yourself? So this is where we can work from. And strategizing, just understanding the person and the people you're working with, is really key. And that's the side of work, right? And once you know what you're working with, then you know how to organize yourself. And I'm a Virgo, so that we just got out of Virgo season. And my goodness, I was like on a very direct path to getting things complete and no nonsense. It's a very direct path, meaning no emotions aside. This is what we have to do, grounding the energy. And so when we think about our families, are we aware of the things that are keeping our family, as a mom, a glue? Like, are we gluing everybody healthy together? So what are those things? So if you don't have a notebook, have it on hand always to clarify your brain, because our brains are all over the place. And I think that if we do not ground ourselves in the physical reality, the 3D reality, we're excited entrepreneurs to heal the world, heal the planet. We get the mission. That's the step one of belief. The second is, though, the details. And this is the very Virgo aspect of me, is like the successes in the details, truly. Because in order to get reverse engineering a goal and you taking the steps to get there, it's all in what are the steps. So if you're going to help and coach people, it's not a transactional experience. We know it's not a direct line to that goal. We know it's like all over the place to get that person, because every person has different blocks, has different challenges, has different strengths, has different embodiments. So we want to learn how to get to know and extract the greatness from all the different areas that we've chosen to be. And then we say yes to your sacred choices of your family, of your business, and then your balance. If we choose ourselves too as the main vehicle conductor of this energy, then we too create the balance first for ourselves. And that's why if you're not organized, you're actually putting yourself last, meaning that everything gets away from you. So I think that many of us have experienced that already. And then we come to Jesus moments where we say, things are going to change. I'm going to be confident that the strategies that Purium has in place, such as the action plan, such as the upline model of mentorship, such as the comp plan to get us where we need to go financially. If we feel confident, then we will learn the steps. We will engage in the steps. And with our family, we're here in the Million Mom Movement, not just to talk about, obviously health and wealth, but we're integrating family life. And how are we to be healthy while driving an unlimited potential business? It's literally an unlimited potential business. And we know at the end, you've seen it before, there are dads being, retired because of this. There are families being retired young because of this business comp plan model. So strategizing to see that end goal, like that far end goal, like I can see myself maybe marrying someone and then retiring them, having children with them, all with this business model. That's a strategy. That's a goal. If that's something that appeals to you, or maybe people who you might know, you talk about, like, do not be shy about teaching strategy with your business people, your partners. And then also, so I get this all the time in my team. We have people that are kind of wavering their commitment levels, wavering in how they show up. And then I say to them, do you have the conversations about asking them where exactly they are with earning money and where they are with what they commit themselves to in their life? And so I hear sometimes, oh, this person is working a lot of hours with something that doesn't earn, or in a company that doesn't earn. That's an opportunity to help them strategize. So, this is very business, but then now on the side of family, I always say, strategizing with your family. Well, if you don't tell them what's ahead, they literally feel wild. I don't know about your family. My kids are very wild, and I like them wild. They're free to express all aspects of what they're going through. I love the organic lifestyle, but I'm also very disciplined. And the discipline, if you're not disciplining, you're missing an opportunity to love on them, because they need as much love as they need discipline. And just know it's like half and half. So if you're not creating boundaries with what you're doing as a family when their time is with you, then they're just wild. They're going to be off on their social media, looking on YouTube and who knows what else. So to tell them, this time period is for us. We're going to do this together. You are the alpha. I always say this, I think more than 5 to 10 times. Please just incorporate that into your home, being an alpha strategist. You're co-creating their reality, but you have to do it together. So I pass the word to Taz. I'd love to hear what you're going to share.
So it's so important that you know and you understand that kids look at what you do and not what you say. Okay? Your kids are looking at the habits you are creating for them, that you're doing every day. If they're watching you have these healthy habits with business, with health, with anything, they are going to start implementing this in their daily routine as well. So you know what I've noticed a lot? Moms put so much pressure on themselves. Like everything you're talking about, Carm, with the list and everything. I can just hear my team and all of my mamas being like, oh, but I didn't get this one thing done. Oh, they put so much pressure on themselves. And they're like, well, I didn't accomplish anything today. All of a sudden, it's all negativity. And I was being such a horrible mom. And I'm like, no, we do not use this language, right? You do the best you can. You do the best you can, and you try and do a little bit more than yesterday. This is not a science. This is not, one mold fits all. This works into your life. The point about this business is to bring out your personality, what you do, who you are, and make you to be your best version of yourself. Take yourself and bring it to 2.0. Okay. So whatever you're good at, right? You love cooking? All right. We're going to make you the best chef. You love baking? All right, we've got you. Whatever you love doing. If you're great at social media, we will take that to the next level, right? There's so many different ways we can show you how to connect to your heart, because this business is about opening your heart and making a great impact to every single person that you meet, right? It's not that complicated. It's health and wealth. And to me, they go hand in hand. How can you have one without the other, right? Are you going to be sick and old with all your wealth? No, it doesn't make sense. Are you going to be super healthy with no money? Absolutely not, right? We need both to thrive. And in this business, we are teaching you all those steps. We have so many health calls that we show you what to do to be healthy. We do that. We've done it. Now we're showing you how to do it as a busy mom, caregiver, dad, everyone. We're showing you how you can implement these steps. So while homeschooling my kids, you know what I realized? They're always there. They're always there. You can't get away from them, okay? Once school starts, you have to be right next to them doing homework. Well, you know what? While they're doing homework, I'm doing homework. Absolutely. You will not find me without my notebook. I have it next to me. I'm taking down my notes. I'm helping them. I'm helping myself, right? This is how we help to build the business, okay? And time for lunch. I already explained what we do for that. Bring out your phone, show everyone how we do this, and involve your kids, okay? We stress this all the time. This is a business for your family. Don't look at it, well, I have to, they're not quiet, so I can't do this. That's okay. Do you think you're the only family that has noisy kids? There's so many people that have noisy kids. Connect to that. You could still build a business with noisy kids. It's okay, right? This is your life. Show the world how your life is. So when my kids were homeschooling, you guys saw, my kids were on every call. I incorporated them. Whatever they have to say, share. I didn't silence them. Lucho, you have something to say? Go for it. Kiara, you have something to say? Go for it. This empowers them and it encourages them to speak their voice, to have a voice, and to be able to foster this power within them. So I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing it for them, right? So do you see how that alone is creating the healthy habits? I had one of my brand partners who told me the other day, she was like, oh, I had the worst day ever. And I'm like, really? Tell me about this day. And we start talking about the day. Sound like an amazing day. Yes, you know where I'm talking about. And then she signed up a brand partner. I'm like, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a very successful day to me, right? So it all has to do with your perception. When you wake up, like what Carm was talking about, when you wake up, you need to already have a plan. Okay, I wake up with a complete plan of my day. So I block 2 weeks of my 2 weeks of knowing exactly what I'm going to do. So as soon as I wake up, the plan is there. I know who I'm talking to. I know what I'm doing. But if it gets derailed, it gets derailed. Big deal. You don't beat yourself up for that. Okay. She had a bad day. She still signed up a brand partner, but she was so hard on herself. So I really encourage all of us to start looking at what are our priorities in our life, right? You have to have non-negotiables. That's a priority. Post once a day, at least. Just show up. Doesn't matter what time. Doesn't matter. If you're in a car, it's okay. Just post. Be consistent. It doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't have to look one size fits all, okay? It has to look like you. We don't want to create another, this is a business about duplication, but it's not becoming someone else. It's about being who you are, okay? So it's not that serious. Just shine, be the best person that you can. And when the kids are at school, what I've noticed is you have so much time. But it's so funny. What I hear from moms who their kids go to physical school, they're the ones who tell me the most that I'm so busy. I have no time. The ones who go to physical school complain more to me that I have no time than the ones who are homeschooling. So I go, wonderful. Tell me what you're doing. Let's talk about that. So once we start breaking it down, so that's another strategy that I would really encourage all of you to do. Write it down. What are you doing? Because you know what? We're talking about scrolling the cat videos. Once you do this, I'm telling you, I was on TikTok once. I think 3 hours passed. I don't know what happened. It like brought me into a whole, my whole day was gone. They were like, what did you do today? I don't know. I was on TikTok. I don't know what happened from one video to the other. And I vowed, I'm like, I am not doing that again, right? So you learn from the mistakes. I'm like, do not do that. Don't get sucked into TikTok. Go do what you need to do and get out, right? So once you start writing it down, you know what? It gets concretized. You know what you're doing. Okay, I love what Naeva was saying, make each day to be a certain thing, like Fridays for me are follow-ups, Mondays, reach outs, Wednesday, make your reels, batch your reels, like every time do something different. So then it becomes like automatic. Okay, Tuesday, the kids have golf. Wednesday, the kids have basketball. You know how you start thinking like that? It becomes automatic in your mind. Do the same thing with your business because your business is you, right? It's not a separate entity. It's who you are. You need to start becoming the business. You have to become the food, right? Don't we say you are what you eat? Well, you are what you consume. You are how you live your life. It's all connected, right? So how you're doing your business in one form is how you're doing in all the forms, right? Isn't that true? Can you guys agree to that? Drop me a 1 if you agree to that. So when I see it on paper, when everyone writes it to me on paper, what they're doing today, I'm like, well, don't you think you could have done a call at that time? Yeah, I could have. Okay. All right. How about this time? Could you have, done a reach out? Yeah, I could have, but time got away from me. What do you mean time got away from you? We are in control of our day. If we're not in control of our day, then who is? Now, if you tell me you're not in control of your day, you just gave your power away. Is that what we're all about? Are we into giving our power away? Absolutely not. This is a business about empowering. So we need to own our day. When we say that, it means we run the day, right? What Carmela was talking about, being the alpha, we run the day. We organize it. We organize it for our family. If a mom's sick, forget it. What happens to the family? It's chaos, right? I know it is in my house. So I mean, we need to take care of ourselves in all aspects, wealth and health. Okay, I'll pass to you, Naiva.
So amazing, Taz. Thank you so much for all those tips. So I love everything that you shared. You shared so much value. And one of the things that came to mind is, like how you said, write everything down that you have in a day. So I invite you after the Zoom to make yourself a circle with 24 hours, right? Make like a pie chart and make lines that go out from the circle and write how many hours from the time you get up till the time you go to bed, and write out, like, I get up at 6:30, I make breakfast by 7, and write out the things that you do in a day. And then you'll actually see the slots that are still available. Hey, you know what? I actually have a window between 2 and 2:30 when I pick up the kids. That's enough time to do quite a bit of reach outs. Again, a lot of us are in the car to and from schools, and that's a great time to reach out and follow up with people. Right? We're in the car, dial them before you leave the house, put them on speakerphone or put your earbuds in and have those conversations on the way. We're all super busy. So it's about fitting this business into the nooks and crannies of our day. A really fun tip that came to mind as well while you were talking, Taz, is if you have a hard time keeping up with your tasks for the day, then do this. Take 10 pennies or 10 marbles and put them in a cup on your desk. And every time you make a call or do a reach out or do an income producing activity, move that penny into another cup on the other side of your desk, right? Or from one pocket to the other, however you want to do it. But by the end of the day, make sure that the full cup is empty and the empty cup is now full. Every day, do this, and you're going to know that you did at least 10 things. This really helps you that even if you didn't enroll somebody that day, I did at least 10 action steps. This can also help if you're doing the 40 and 4, right? If you're doing your 10 reach outs per day, hey, have those 10 pennies in a cup on your counter. And every time you do a call, then move it over to the other cup. And by the end of the day, you've done those 10 reach outs. So this is just a tip because I know we're fitting this into nooks and crannies of our day. And maybe you're not sitting down and making 10 phone calls at one time. So it might feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't get anything done today, even though you did talk to a bunch of people, you've sent out some messages, you've sent out some video links, whatever it is that you've done to move the needle forward. So that is a really fun tip to just kind of gamify it and make it like, oh, I did this new action step. Okay, I'm going to move this penny over to the other cup. So that's one way to just kind of keep yourself accountable. It's like your own built-in accountability partner, and you can increase the amount of pennies in the cup. Hey, put 20 pennies in the cup. Today I'm going to do 20 action steps, right? Whatever that looks like for you, but start with 10, right? Start with 10 and then build up from there. Some strategies. So we're going into fall, and some ways to really strategize your business is connecting with your team and doing some really fun things online, right? Maybe you do reels together. We did one recently with my team where we're passing the shaker cup. We're taking a sip and passing the shaker cup and making a reel. That is really fun. That is super entertaining and people love it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I would love to do one with all of us on it. And so we can organize that in the future, but that would be a super fun thing to have a reel with moms and kids and families making shakes and passing it out the screen to the next family who's doing the same thing, and show them how versatile we are and how we use these superfoods at the park and at the beach and at home and at the soccer game and all the things. So those are fun. And like it was mentioned earlier, batch recording, right? So this isn't part of your time block. I do reels I think mostly in the evening, and the ones that I do in the day are planned out. Like I'm planning on doing this reel, and it's like in my 5 minutes while I'm waiting for my next call, or the really quick little things that I do. It's not something I take an hour out of my day to sit there and like create a reel. All my reels are super quick, easy, fast, fun, and that's what we want. And honestly, the ones that you spend an hour doing get less traction than the ones that take you 2 minutes to make. So don't get focused on like, I'm going to make this perfect reel that everything is the same. Just do it and have fun doing it, right? We get a ton of credit from the company this month. Everybody gets credit for Widen Your Reach. That's super exciting. And we should all be taking advantage of that and encouraging our team to do the same. Some other strategies is having a fall group reset, right? It's fall time. It's before the holidays. We want to get picture ready. Hey, you guys, Halloween and Thanksgiving's around the corner. So we're going to be taking pictures, right? Family pictures at Thanksgiving, things like that. So let's get our family members and our friends to do a group fall reset. We have plenty of time to plan more than one before the holidays start. So let's get a few resets going in the next couple months. Doing events in your area. If you don't already or create events, then having healthy happy hours or creating team events in your area that are either product or business forward. Those can really help maximize your business. It's super fun. You get to invite people to come, enjoy your presence, enjoy the superfoods, hear your story. And, honestly, it's so empowering when you do it. The other thing is giveaways, either doing giveaways online on your Zooms, giving away products. People love to try free products. And when it's free, people want to tune in to see how they can win the free thing, right? So if you have additional products on hand, do some giveaways, have some fun lives and do a giveaway with it at the end. Another great strategy that I love is interview each other. Let's get in the habit of interviewing each other. If somebody here inspires you, reach out to them after the Zoom and say, hey, you know what? You really inspire me. I'd love to interview you on my Instagram. I've done this to several of you here where I've reached out and said, hey, I'd love to interview you. And in exchange, you can interview me on your channel. So we're exchanging stories. And I can't tell you how powerful that is. Stories sell, right? Nobody cares, what the product is. It's really the stories, the heart, the authenticity behind it that attracts people to what it is that we're doing. So, and then lastly, doing that 40 and 4, super powerful at the beginning of every month. And it's something that you can do at the beginning of every week if you really want to boost your business. And so that's what I have to share for strategy. And I'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Carmela.
Wow, thank you so much, Neva. Those are great notes. I hope everybody was able to take them or rewatch them, share it with your team. This is exactly it. And also strategically, like when we're talking about the fall group reset, the next big one I feel like people always will have is maybe a post-Thanksgiving reset. So strategize seasonal resets and then a New Year's group reset. And don't forget, there's a Black Friday sale in November. So what are we leading into? We're leading into people getting used to our products that when there's a big sale, they'll actually know about how to shop on our back office in the iShop because they've done a program already. So fall is a great time to kick off. We're 3 weeks away from the fourth quarter. So we're basically strategizing how you're going to move into that very important quarter of shopping for all of us. So get with your team and get some resets going. So I'm going to move into, I don't know if we have time. Do you think we have a little bit of time to open it up for a couple of questions from the field? I'd love to hear if you guys have any questions about the topics of time blocking, balancing your family during entrepreneurship with our businesses. Raise your hand. I see Camille. All right, let me take you off mute, Camille. Hi.
This is such a good call. I just did in my stories about being busy and making time for things that are important. So, so I guess my question is, my son just started preschool. So he's going to a center and I have like 7 hours in my day. And I just have like so much to do to get organized and get caught up. And I've literally been doing my Purium business like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, weaving it into my day. And like, I just have so much to do. So what would be maybe like 1 or 2 tips that you guys could give me on getting organized to really maximize my time? Because like yesterday I spent like 5 hours on my Purium business, and then I was like, I have to take a shower and I have to eat, you know? So I'm excited. You can see 90-minute time blocks. Okay.
Yeah, it's proven that, yeah, you can really get focused on something in 90 minutes and get a lot done in an amount of time, especially if you sit down and focus. And if you have 7 hours, you have a lot of time to do all the things that you need to do. I know it can get overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, all the thoughts of what it is you need to do, but definitely blocking a certain amount of time, you can get so much done in that hour and a half. And if you can do 2 90-minute time blocks in a day, then that's even better.
Go ahead,
Carmela,
Tom.
did you want to add anything?
Yeah, so thanks, Camille, for the question, for sure. For new mamas, I mean, 7 hours is a lot of time. So you could do so much for your own self-care and your own business social media sharing. That's really good to do when your kids are away, but as well as when they're with you. I mean, it's either or. But of course, reverse engineer your goals. And what are the things exactly you need in order to get the maximum number of points per month? And make sure, are you hitting those marks, and are you able to weave it into the daily IPAs? So, you know, just like Taz was saying about how some days are specifically follow-up, some days are specifically like reach outs. I always take my blocks like Naiva too, and in increments, because I get worn down too for sitting too long. I mean, it's just not healthy to sit for more than 90 minutes or more than an hour. You got to move your body. So definitely taking in those increments as an entrepreneur, and as a mom, you want to make sure you got your book organizing your IPAs. That's super important. We have a 90-day run in, I think it's in the boards under corporate. I love it. If you don't, ask your upline. I'm going to just lean on the importance also of coaching with your upline, because they are also watching you more than sometimes you're watching yourself, and ask them, what could I focus on that I'm really not hitting my marks with every month? You saw how I've been the past whole quarter. What can I do more? They will help you.
Okay. Awesome.
Can I add something, Camille?
Please.
Okay, so when you started this call, when you came on, unmuted yourself, you said, I have so much to do, and I have 7 hours. You see my eyes? I'm like, 7 hours, and you have so much to do. So first of all, you need to re-look at the way you speak, okay? Because if you're saying, I have so much to do already, you're over, like, it's like, well, you're not gonna get anything done, right? So being focused on what you need to do, because you said, I have so much to do, I have 7 hours to do it, and I'm doing 5 minutes here and there. I'm like, there's a disconnect here. I'm like, well, what exactly? You have 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. You have so much to do. You have 7 hours. Where are you really going, right? So I think start saying, being organized, writing things down, right? What are you going to do in this time? Writing it down is key, because now you're going to know exactly, right? And don't say something like, I have so much to do. Say, this is going to be like an accomplished day. Reword the way you speak, because that has a huge impact on how your whole day is going to go. Okay, back to you, Carmela.
Thank you.
Thanks, Camille. All right, we have just time to go to our call to action today. So we have been doing this for the past few weeks, and we're going to lead you to this detoxproject.org site. We're in the Poison in Our Daily Bread is part of the reports. Go into the tab reports. And then when you go into the Poison in Our Daily Bread, that article in the reports, you scroll all the way down to where you're going to find this list. And this list is where we have been directly contacting these companies and brands on their Instagram. So we're asking you to look at what we're doing this week, and then you take action by messaging them directly about this particular product on the far left corner column. So that product is what has that on the third column, that high level of parts per billion of glyphosate. Now, what this article says is that over 10 parts per billion is actually not good. And look at these levels. They're way over. Some are even 1,000. Most are over 150, but most are over 300 to 1,000. So this is something that they may not even know that they're doing and that it's an issue. So what we're doing as a community, we need us to flood them. We need a flood of communication. It doesn't work when it's just drips. So we need a lot of people at once. And what we're asking you to do, because we're going to feature you in our blog, for those who actually are posting and sharing their screen and putting it into a story and tagging Million Mom. So always hashtag or mention us so that Nayeva can pull you out from the community and screenshot your comment right under their product, under like, say, great, I don't know, which one are we doing today, Nayeva? Is it the—
Today we're focusing on number 14, the green split peas from Target. They're Good and Gather brand, 168 parts per billion, right here, number 14.
Thank you. So go on to that Instagram, search them, you'll find them, and then look for one of the posts. Okay, thank you. That says their food, and make a post. And let's see if there's one specific here. Maybe it should be just the last one, if it's not a specific post that has the green beans. Just the most recent one. I think the most recent one is what's going to capture their attention, because of course, if you're a content creator, you're going to be watching that most recent post. So see, as Nayeva's doing it, let's all flood this one post together. Okay. And that means, are you aware that your product, this green beans that are, that it has a very high level of a known carcinogen that's called glyphosate in your product at a higher level that's actually healthy? And so if you say that, then the others say that, screenshot and then share it onto your story. Okay, so if you need content, this is showing your community that your activism is present, that you are doing something about the issues, and you're calling to action other people. You could do CTA and direct message me about what it is that you can do too, but we want to feature those that are actually doing it with us. So thank you for listening and also participating. And I'll pass the mic to Nayeva to talk about PEEPS, which is so exciting, and to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carmela. Yes, as most of you know, we just launched our PEEPS program, which is our Purium Economic Empowerment Program scholarships. And this is open to the field. You do have to be executive or above to sponsor or nominate a person for the PEEPS program. And as the sponsor, it is your responsibility to get your nominee on the line with an upline diamond or higher on a connect call to make sure that they understand what our program is and that they're excited and they align with our business model. And once they do so, once you do that connect call, then it is your responsibility to fill out the first application. And you will get an email back from that application once you fill it out, and it will have two links, one that you send to your upline diamond and one that you send to your nominee. And once you send out those two links and we receive them back, we will go over all three applications, and that's how we will process the people coming into our PEEPS program. Now, everybody that applies won't get chosen right away, so they will remain in the pool for up to 90 days and still be eligible during those next 3 months. And after the 3 months, if they haven't yet gotten the scholarship, they can reapply at that time and start the process over. So I hope that you go and take advantage of this incredible opportunity. If you know people that need the help with getting superfoods and a 6-month business scholarship, then go check out isharepurium.com/peeps-BP. And you can also find it on iShare Purium, and there's a drop-down menu for movement, and you can find the link there as well. So thank you so much, Carmela, and thank you everybody for joining us today for this incredible presentation.
Thank you. Thanks, Nayeva and Taz. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.